Behind home plate, we bringing it to him all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your endearingly starting host, Matt Soroka. As always, joined by the button lover and a guy who's old enough to be Jackson Holliday's father, Josh Soroka.
I do explain to Owen earlier today that Jackson Holliday is basically Emma's age.
Yeah.
That it is, yes, I am old enough to be his father. I believe I've reached the point where there is no one in Major League Baseball older than me.
I think that's probably true.
I think, well, thanks to like Rich Hill and some guys helped me hang in there for a while, but I believe this year might be the first year I am older than all baseball players.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. That's probably true. It was interesting. There was Melly Newman was talking about interviewing Matt Holliday, Jackson Holliday's dad, and Matt Holliday was saying, you know, if I knew Jackson would have been in the majors 6 years after retired, I would have tried to hold on so I could have played with Jackson. But there's no way to know at the time. It was just going to be 6 years.
Justin Verlander is currently the oldest active Major League Baseball.
Okay, and what is he, 42?
He is 41 years old.
Okay, 41. Yep. I'm still holding on.
You're still holding on.
I'm still holding on, but next year's probably going to be me too.
No, I'm now the old guy at softball as well. So, because I'm not that far off from the senior softball league.
Well, I was all set, Josh. I talked to Emily about it. We were all set to go to Jacksonville to see the jumbo strip take of the Norfolk Tides. And my biggest appeal was to see Jackson Holliday.
Yeah.
But now Jackson Holliday is no longer at Norfolk.
I know.
How disappointing.
That's next weekend. And I have not seen Jackson Holliday yet. And that was what part of my thing is, like, there's still exciting guys on that team, and I'll still make it over there.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Norby, Kerstedt, Stowers.
Yeah, I love that
Mayo,
those guys all have a group chat, and they just texted, one's up, 3 to go.
4 to go. Yeah.
4 to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the camaraderie of this team. I love that looking at today's lineup, that if you start in the 8-hole and wrap around, you got five of our 9 guys are like the future of this team and young guys.
Well, one of the guys, only one of the guys didn't go through the farm system here.
Yeah.
Ryan O'Hearn's the only guy in the lineup that didn't go through the farm system. So, Santander is an interesting case, the Rule 5 guy, but his entire major league professional career has been here.
Yeah, and
it's pretty cool.
It's exciting. It's interesting. I thought that maybe for the Pirates series they might give in and pull up Holliday.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this. Is what
the
interests
timing.
Me most. What is the timing? What does the timing tell you about their thinking and why he was sent down at all? It was so quick.
I mean, unless you have a different opinion.
I have.
You have an opinion?
I have some theories, and
when I look at the timing, the timing doesn't give into any of that crap of contract manipulation and time adjustment. I think the timing proves all that wrong. The timing goes along with the theory of they wanted him to get some playing time in the minors first, make sure he's hot in the minors and bring him up. I don't think there's any manipulation going on.
Okay, you're kind of with Buster Olney on this.
No. Buster Olney is still in the manipulation camp, isn't he?
Well, so here's some theories. So first of all, you would have to, if they waited till Saturday, Josh, they could have got another year out of him.
Right.
Saturday. So they could have waited 3 days.
Which would have
4 days.
Right.
And then you get a whole nother year. Yeah. So this move is saying we care more about these next 3 days or 4 days than we do a whole nother year.
Yes.
I think it makes a larger argument to Jackson Holliday saying we're not messing with you, Jackson.
Yes, it also makes me think of when we brought Matt Wieters up. Now we brought Matt Wieters up at home, but we announced it 3 days out, which gave everyone plenty of time to buy tickets and get that stadium rocking. And if you remember, there wasn't a whole lot to cheer for back then, and that stadium was full for Matt Wieters' first day.
Yeah.
So now
We
they're
were
doing the same thing. Obviously, this team's got a lot more to be excited about, but we're announcing on Wednesday, hey, Jackson Holliday is going to make his debut in Baltimore on Friday night. Go get your tickets. And it's working because those tickets are going for Friday night.
Josh, I know the type of person you are. This thing didn't cross my mind, but I wonder if it crossed your mind. Did you look at all at flights to Boston?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
I know sometimes you will do that more than I will.
Yeah, I did not. Probably just because it's been a busy week.
Yeah.
So.
No, the thing about, and I like how we record this during the game. I hope we can replicate the Jordan Westbrook walk-off last time we recorded during the game.
Yeah.
But what the case Buster, so I'll tell you what Bustoni said, and then I will tell you what I said, and I kind of take a different approach to you.
I love
and to Buster.
All right. Is the tweet real from Buster?
Yeah.
11 years ago when he said, hey, this Jackson Holliday kid playing
I've seen
ball.
screenshots. I assume it's real. I don't know.
Screenshots.
Yeah.
But that's 9U ball. That means the level of baseball. I'm coaching 10U now. So that would be like me looking at Matthias and saying that kid's going to be a big league star one day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember talking with Jonah Heim's dad, and I asked Jonas Heim's dad, like, when he is a kid, because you worry about your own kids. Like, when he was a kid, like, did you know? Like, when he was just a little kid playing a little league, did you know? And they said yes. Like, he was just a lot more naturally gifted than all the other kids. And I think that's true with most athletes. Like, I bet, Josh, I think 9U major leaguers, future major leaguers, are different. I don't think they're. I think not saying every super talented kid is going to make the majors, but I don't. I think they're. I think for the most part they're different.
All right, I just googled the check, and yeah, everyone's saying that tweet was real.
Yeah,
which is impressive to call a 9-year-old. I don't even know. I don't even know what a 9-year-old looks like. That is going to be a major league star.
Yeah, I mean, talked about his sweet lefty swing. Yeah, I don't know. But that's the way to go. Also, if you're creating a major leaguer, by the way, I did it the opposite. I did it wrong. I don't know how much of a say you have in this, but you want to throw right and hit left. That's really, really what you want to do.
Yeah.
Sass is the opposite. He throws left and hits right, and that's really terrible. That's the worst of both
worlds. You just have to direct them to pitching.
Yeah, because Josh, what position do lefties play?
First base.
And outfield. That's literally it. You don't see any lefty catchers, third base, shortstop, second base. No.
You can pitch, you can play first base, and you can play outfield.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I don't know how frequent this is, but it's interesting, isn't it? That Jackson Holliday is throws right, bats left. Gunnar Henderson, same way.
Yeah.
I don't know how. It just seems like not typical. I mean, my son is left and then right.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Normally you see more of that where, they're a switch hitter.
Right.
And they throw right, not predominant left. And I don't know how that works. I don't know how your brain works that way. I do everything right-handed, right-footed. Yeah. Everything is right first.
Yeah. I don't understand why Sass throws left and bats right. And I tried to do the switch hitter thing, but he just can't do it left. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But no, so the theory Buster only said on his podcast was that Jackson Holliday played so well that he just forced Mike Elias's hand. That he played so well in Norfolk that they just couldn't keep him down any longer.
I think that I think if you pair that with the fact that Kemp and Urias suck and can't hold their own, I think you can put those two things together and be like, and the rough week of a couple tough losses in Pittsburgh, and then you see this lineup not scoring runs and be like, you know what? We lost 2 that we should have won in Pittsburgh. We've struggled offensively. I need to do something. I can't put Urias and Kemp out here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
I
For
see
me,
a little of
though,
that.
I just don't see it. That seems way too reactionary by Mike Elias, and he doesn't come across to me as
And
a panic reactionary guy
right.
after
And
a
I
couple
will
weeks.
say, if it was right, if he was trying to manipulate the contract and get another year, then he would have announced today, oh, he's coming up Saturday.
Right. I don't
Not
think he
brought
would
him
throw
up
out,
today.
and that was his plan all along. I don't think he would throw it out last minute because Kemp doesn't have a hit or because Urias has struggled. I don't buy that. And this argument that he was playing so well for some, it's not like Jackson Holly was hitting 1,000, right? He was hitting like
Well,
333. He was playing
and-
really well.
and
But
if-
I mean, Kerstedt, Mayo, they
That's
have
what-
better numbers.
And Stowers, they're all crushing it
Yeah,
down there.
but they're not here.
And Hayes sucks, and Mullins has been struggling. So, but yeah, you're not forcing those guys up.
And Buster even went as far as to say like he doesn't know if this move would have happened when John Angelos was here.
I thought about that also. I don't know, and I can't say, and it's something where we can just. We'd like to think the worst of the Angelos family, and John Angelos said that he was letting Mike Elias make the baseball decisions. That is a baseball decision. So I can't say either way for that. I think I can say as much as the same. I think it's the same argument as saying Corbin Burns wouldn't have signed here if we didn't have a new owner.
Right.
I think it's some things that we can't ever really know.
Yeah. I'm with you though. My gut feeling is that this move would have happened either way because John Angelos has let Mike Elias run the baseball side of things. And he called up Gunnar early. He could have waited on Gunnar. He didn't. I still believe he was going to call up Grayson before
Yes.
Adley before the
I
injury.
trust that.
Yeah.
Here's the only thing I found weird is that it's a Wednesday. Why didn't he come up on Tuesday? Why didn't he come up yesterday after an off day Monday?
Here's my theory. Here's what I think happened. I think this was the plan from day one. I think this date, this
that he
plan,
had this
maybe it's the
Tuesday.
exact date.
Now I
But-
saw pre-season. I did see Bob over at On the Verge pick this specific date
Yeah.
as when he would come up because
Okay,
he
yeah.
thought he counted 9-10 games, a week and a half of minor league ball, and he'd be ready.
And what was Bob's reason? Do you know?
That's what I was just saying. The fact that he would get 9 to 10 games in the minors to get his bat warm and be up.
Right. And that might be part of it, but I didn't hear the whole clip with Bob. I think he might agree with me in that at the beginning of the season, just the way it laid out, we were playing against a lot of lefties. And I don't think Jackson Holly is going to play every day against righties and lefties. I don't think there's a doubt about that. But he has had more success so far in his career against righties. So maybe you don't want to bring him up in the first 2 weeks to go against 9 lefties. And then all of a sudden, after the first 2 weeks of the season, you're batting 150 or 200, mostly because you've been playing against a lot of lefties.
I can see that.
So you wait till you get through all these lefties. There's a righty starting today for Boston. You wait till you get through all these lefties, which is abnormal. It was an abnormal thing that at the beginning of the season you were playing against so many lefties.
Right.
And now you get the more typical some righties and some lefties. And so now you're up. And in the meantime, Jackson Holly got a chance to play. Because the argument that,
you don't want to platoon him.
Right. And you want him to hit well. So
Yes.
and he hits better against righties. The idea that like he improved against lefties or he improved at second base, even though he made 2 errors in 2 weeks, I don't buy it at all. I think they just looked at the matchups and they said, we're going to hold off just to make the matchups a little bit better. Also, how the dates work. I don't really understand all this, but how the dates work. He's still in line. If he gets Rookie of the Year, we still get that first round draft pick, which I think matters to Mike Elias, who loves those draft picks and seems to be does a pretty good job with prospects.
Plus, it seems pretty cool if we can get 2 Rookie of the Years in a row.
Yeah. Rumor is we could have 2 Rookies of the Year this year.
What are you talking? What are you
I
talking about?
saw people talking about Joey Ortiz is off to a really hot start.
Okay.
So former Oriole Joey Ortiz and in the National League, two Oriole former Oriole prospects, or one current Oriole. But But
Yes.
but yeah, so that's I think it's just a matchup kind of game. First home game, Josh. I didn't look. Do you think what evidence do you have that tickets are being sold? Does he like? Do you have evidence?
The conversation I am seeing on Facebook.
Okay.
I take that. That's more Twitter. People are more focused on like the stats and excitement for the game, and I don't know. I find Facebook. It's a different crowd that posts on about Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting too because Friday's game's also on Apple TV as opposed to Masson.
Which everybody complains about, and I love.
I like the Apple TV.
I love the
broadcast.
Apple TV broadcast.
Yeah, me too. I like the stats, the camera work.
Yeah,
I like it.
I
No,
just-
but what this means though in terms of line construction, it was so refreshing. I mean, one of the things, and we can get into the kind of our first impressions of the season, but this lineup today, ooh,
it's the
this lineup
prettiest
today was
lineup of
a
the season.
thing of beauty, a thing of beauty.
All
And
right,
I don't know how long Jackson Holiday will be in the 9 hole because it seems pretty low for
Right,
him. But I
he'll work
get
his
it at the
way
beginning of the season. Yeah,
I wanna talk about this lineup because it's not. We've talked plenty about Holiday, but we're starting to see Kowser really warm up at the plate. And how do you do that? And part of it is because he's getting playing time. He's starting games while Hayes is struggling. And if he continues to get hot, how do you balance him and still give Hayes an opportunity?
yeah. I've been seeing a lot of slander, a lot of mean things being said about 3 players on this team. And I'm unhappy about 2 of them. Now, some people have said not nice things about Tony Kemp, and I say, have at it. I don't know Tony Kemp. He's not one of my guys. I don't rock with Tony Kemp. I've known him for a very short time. Me and Tony do not go back far at all. And all I see when I see Tony, oh, wait a minute, hold up.
Well, you're getting distracted because Jordan Westbrook just hit a home run on the Green Monster.
He just jacked a 3-run homer
Yep.
to take the lead.
Yep.
This man is clutch, Josh. This Jordan Westbrook
Westbrook's
is
been heating up
clutch.
too, and he is clutch. And you texted me 30 minutes ago and said, this game's over.
Well, it was
Let's
like
just do the
5-0.
podcast." It was
5-0. I was
Now-
irritated.
This lineup is now scoring 7 runs. The Homer hose is back. The sprinkler is back out on the on second base. Homer hose in the dugout. Who's more excited about the Homer hose? Me, because I've got a whole lot of Homer hose merch up on Birdland Sports, or do you think someone from Orioles PR said, "Guys, we got this bird bath out here. You got to bring the Homer hose back. Forget the 5 o'clock boys."
Yeah, someone needs to help us stay focused because we're jumping everywhere in this pod, but there's so much to talk about. But yeah,
I wanted
the-
to talk about Kowser and then
the
Westbrook crushes that.
offense, the offense kind of recognizing that we need to get some more offense here and let's bring back the old celebration.
Yeah,
And is it a coincidence that the offense has been rocking
Once
since they
the
brought
Homer
back
hose
the
came
Homer
back?
hose and the sprinkler celebration? I don't think it's a coincidence.
No, it seems
That revving up the engines. I'll say it. I didn't want to say it at the time because it was their thing. I was going to let them try it
Yeah,
out.
it was
It's
lame.
stupid. It was stupid.
It was stupid. I
It
didn't
was
like
so
it either.
dumb.
No, I didn't like it. I liked.
And Utah Street was right. Utah Street Report was right to point out. Derek was right to point out that it was a Royals thing a few years ago. It was not even original. It was dumb.
And Derek was right in with the 2 hands up, trying to make it as you're holding a pair of fish
Yeah, for this team, that fits
with this
yeah.
team, because you could have so much fun with a reel and reeling guys in
Yeah.
and stuff.
And there's still the connection to water.
You
Yeah,
s- yeah,
it's good.
So,
That was a brilliant call by Derek. Yeah.
Derek was way better on this. Yeah, I don't like the.
But I
buzz.
think it's okay, Josh, to bring back the Homer hose. This is a
Oh.
great thing. I don't think it's overkill. To
No,
bring it back
it's not, because the guys. This team is the same team as last year. We added young guys, and these young guys were already in the system. So the Homer hose is our thing, and you got to rock it, and you got to
Yeah.
go with it, and you got to get your Homer hose from birdlandsports.com.
Yeah, your Homer hose T-shirt. You got it all.
Yeah.
What
I
were we
gotta
talking
make
about?
sure
The
I
lineup
start-
construction.
All right.
Oh yeah, and balancing. Oh yeah, the
We were talking
balancing.
about Kowser.
Kowser and Hayes. I want to make this point.
Yes.
Because I said I don't rock. I last left off with I don't rock with Kemp, and I don't. Like, I don't care about Kemp. He's cut good. I don't care. To me, he was just I was ready to boo him on opening day
Yes.
just for taking up Jackson Holiday's spot, which I know is stupid, but I was so mad that Jackson Holiday didn't make the opening day roster. So I don't know Tony. I don't like him just because he's taking Jackson Holiday's spot, and we have no history. Though I will say his tweet about
Very classy.
very classy tweet saying he's pumped to see Jackson Holiday, wishing him success, whatever. Very classy tweet. I'm also not crying for Tony Kemp because he had 10 at bats and is making $1 million this year for it. So I'm not
Yes.
crying. I'm not crying for Tony.
No, how do I
He'll
get
be
that
all right.
gig?
Yeah. But I don't know him. I do know Hayes, right? And I do know Arias.
Yes.
We've rocked with these guys for several years. I mean, Hayes goes way back. Arias goes back. So I don't take well to people all of a sudden having bad 2 weeks. Let's move on from Hayes. Let's move on from Arias. They have no place in this team because of bad 2 weeks.
Right.
You want to talk about Gunnar Henderson's
How about-
stats? We can
how
talk about his stats too. You want to have these conversations?
How about,
I don't
but
think
hold
it's
on.
yeah.
Except how about I'm done with Urias because he didn't impress me last year either. And how
Okay.
about Urias, I don't see a spot in the future here.
Okay. But I see Urias as being not an everyday third baseman, but I see him as a utility infielder. I see him as a valuable veteran leader. I see him as a guy who can play, once a week. He's your
All right.
Sunday lineup guy. I'm okay with that, Urias.
So you're holding Urias and Mateo on your bench.
Yes. Yeah, just like I rock with Mateo. I'm going to rock
Okay.
with Urias.
All right.
He had a really nice defensive play the other day where he threw home, got a guy out. Like I think
Yeah.
he's still an above average defensive player. And I think he has sneaky pop, and I think he's a good bench player. Now, is he an everyday player? Not for this team right
All right.
now, because we just saw him, Jordan Westburg. And
Yeah.
one of the best things about Brandon Hyde so far this year is he's put Jordan Westburg in the lineup pretty much every single game. Love that.
Yeah. No, I love that because that's what Westbrook needs. That's what these young guys need is they don't need to work off the bench. They need opportunities every day.
Same with Austin Hayes, Josh. You mentioned
Well-
Austin Hayes, Colton Cowser. I understand it's a tough conversation.
Yes.
I understand those are two talented players playing the same position. I understand right now Colton Cowser is playing better than Austin Hayes. I get that.
Are you
But Austin Hayes
concerned-
has a history of being good defensively.
Yes.
He's a bit of a streaky hitter, so this is not surprising that he's off to a slow start. He's going to get hot at some point. But again, I think I don't see this as problematic. I see this as a depth, and you can rest guys. It's a long season, and stuff happens. So I think when we look up at the end of the day, Austin Hayes might not play in 152 games, but I think Austin Hayes is going to play in 100 games. And I think Colton Cowser is going to play in 100 games. I think there's room for both to happen. And you made it. So, yeah. So I don't think
Are
this
you
is like we need to panic and start making trades.
No.
Now,
The problem, I'm not worried about trades. It's the guys banging on the door down in Norfolk.
right.
Because if you're saying Jackson Holiday played good enough that he forced the hand, these other guys are as well. And when you've got a guy I like Austin Hayes a lot, but he's not even hitting the ball hard. He's got a real low exit velocity when he is making contact, and that's concerning.
Yeah. And Josh, let me say the quiet part out loud. Love Austin Hayes. I love who he is.
I love him.
I love the way he plays. He's like, we go way back, right?
Right.
He's an Oriole drafted through and through.
And defensively, he's great.
Yes,
I
he's
love
got
him
a
out
good
in the outfield.
arm. He plays like with his hair on fire.
But
love the enthusiasm.
We got Kerstead and Stowers
yeah.
on fire.
But Josh, let me ask you a question. I want to say this quietly so as not to be overheard. In 2 years,
Yeah.
is Austin Hayes still on this team?
All right.
In 3 years?
All right. There's a reason that it was Austin Hayes. You heard this offseason talking about wanting to sign an extension and be a lifelong Oriole, not Mike Elias,
Right.
because we have guys behind him.
There's very small chance Mike Elias gives him an extension.
No, Hayes doesn't get an extension unless he finds some of that Chris Davis steroids.
Because
Adderall.
Austin Hayes is a good player.
He's great. Yeah, he's a good player.
But the ceiling for Kerstedt is much higher. Even
Yes.
for Cowser, I think is higher than Austin Hayes.
Isn't Stowers an outfielder also?
And Kyle Stowers.
Okay.
Yeah,
mean-
right now, Kerstad is actually interesting. He's playing first base today. But has an batting average of 413, an OPS of
Right.
1.32. And the other one's interesting is
And
Kobe Mayo.
We've
And
seen
I-
Kerstead play a little first base in the
Yeah.
past. Because
Yeah.
Kersted's been a discussion often of he's got the bat, how do we get him on the field? And
Right.
You're right.
And
Mayo,
Kobe Mayo has that similar conversation.
yes. Yes.
And I heard some people say, like, well, if Arias continues to struggle, could Kobe Mayo replace Arias? And I would say, well, maybe, but then,
I don't want him on the bench.
right, Arias isn't playing every day. Westbrook's playing every day at third.
Right.
So where's Mayo going to play if he's called up?
Right. Exactly. And that's even Kerstead. I guess if you bring up Kerstead, I guess it'd kind of be taking a Ryan O'Hearn spot.
Right.
First base.
Potentially, you could take Ryan O'Hearn's spot.
And he
or
could
you could take-
platoon with Santander.
Yeah.
And then you got Kowser platooning with Hayes and Mullins. So you've got room for those guys. I don't think we see Mayo this year. Because I think Mayo is younger. He's had less time in the minors. And I don't see how we can get him playing time.
Yeah,
And
I mean, Mayo's 22. I don't. How long though? I guess Elias has to hope maybe that these guys cool off, and so like I think it's okay saying now that the roster is good right now. Like we're happy with this lineup the Orioles are rocking. We're good with this roster. Like I'm okay with us staying put for a while. But if we're having this conversation a month from now, and they're still in fuego, if they're still like blowing up the minors, I feel like Elias is going to be compelled to do something.
Yeah, he's going to go dig some holes in the parking lot and find some potholes.
Because Josh, right now, like, then you start asking the question, because Elias wants to compete for a World Series, and what's the best roster right now to win me a World Series? And maybe that involves Kerstead and Mayo on the team.
Right. And that means some difficult choices with guys like O'Hearn, Urias, even Hayes.
Yeah. But I also want to make this point going back to Jackson Holiday. Remember, when Kowser's playing really well right now, when he first came up, he stunk. Okay.
But he also didn't get much playing time.
He didn't get much playing time.
Like one at bat a game.
Okay. And when he got the one at bat, he stunk.
Yes, he did.
He was terrible.
Correct.
When Adley Rutschman came up, he was not very good. When Gunnar Henderson came up, remember last year, the first half of the year, it was like, what's wrong with Gunnar? He's like pressing. He's not. He ended up winning the Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
So I think, especially with Jackson, at the beginning of the year, pressure beyond Jackson, even batting in the 9-hole, he's adjusting to new pitchers, adjusting to better pitchers. I think it's very normal. We've seen it with these great number one prospects that they struggle for a few months. So I think it's okay if Jackson struggles for a few months.
And that could also be part of the argument of starting Jackson on the road, because Friday, Camden Yards is going to be his house. Everyone there is going to be to see him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Josh, but doesn't it feel he's a number one overall prospect who was called up, and people say he's going to be great.
Oh, and he's hyped across all of baseball, outside of just the Orioles.
Let me ask you a question. Who had more hype? I don't think Gunnar had less hype. Who had more hype, Adley Rutschman or Jackson Holiday?
Jackson Holiday.
Really?
Yeah. Jackson Holiday has had the most hype since Matt Wieters as far as Orioles. And I don't
hold on. If we're laying up hype, let's lay up the hype guys. And Matt Wieters, Manny Machado, Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holiday. You think Jackson Holiday has been more hyped than any of those guys?
No, I think Matt Wieters is the
Matt
top.
Wieters.
Yes. Remember, because he
Jesus
was
in cleats.
Yeah, he was Jesus in cleats. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated before he was coming up.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be our savior.
Right.
Jackson Holiday is another amazing piece.
Right, but that's my point, Josh. When Matt Wieters was caught up, the hype was partly not because of the industry.
No,
it was part of Oriole fans' desperation.
Yes.
And I think the same true to a certain extent, to a lesser extent, with Adley Rutschman. because Adley Rutschman
Yes.
represented Elias's first
Yeah.
pick. It represented this transition to the rebuild is like now actually here. The prospects have been developed. So it was like a turning point with Adley Rutschman.
Yeah, I agree.
And so it was almost a bigger deal with Adley because it was the start. And then Gunnar added to it.
Yes.
And now Jackson feels, and maybe people think he's going to be the best player of them all, but it feels like, in my mind, from Oriole fans, less significant than Adley Rutschman or Gunnar Henderson, because now here's just another piece that's sliding in.
And I think there's a little bit of that, except I think if you go Birdland and go beyond, Jackson Holiday is hyped nationwide by baseball writers and baseball minds more than I think any prospect we've ever seen in our lifetime as an Oriole.
Yeah, and I saw this makes. I don't even like talking about this
And part of it is because everybody loves his dad, and so all the reporters have great relationships with his dad, which expands that.
Yeah, and I also don't like talking about this because I feel bad. I just feel a little bit like guilty about this. But in that 2022 draft,
Yeah,
where we drafted Jackson Holiday number 1. He was not at all, Josh, the consensus number 1 pick.
right.
Okay. People thought Drew Jones, another son of a baseball player, Andrew Jones, Drew Jones should be the number 1 pick. Drew Jones is in the minors is in single A, Josh, hitting like 150, like $150 in single A. The 3rd pick in that draft was Kumar Rocker. The 4th pick in that pick was Tamar Johnson. And the other pick that people thought could go number 1 was Elijah Green, who I think is still at single A too. And again, I think Tamar Johnson has not been great in the minors either. I don't know where he is now. He ended last year at single A. I don't know if he made up to double A this year, but those 5 picks, none of them have turned out well at all. So far, it's early. And meanwhile, we got the one guy that turned into an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this is Mike Elias being a genius, how much of this is luck. But Josh, this could have turned out really differently if we would have taken anyone else, because it wasn't a clear number 1. If we would have taken Kumar Rocker, Drew Jones, Elijah Green, Tamar Johnson, we would just be in a different place. Jackson Holiday is completely different than all of those players, and he was not the consensus number 1 pick. So it's kind of wild how that worked out for the Orioles.
Yeah. No, it worked. And you'd say it's wild how it worked out, but I got to give all the credit to Mike Elias. It's back to in Elias we trust.
Yeah. I mean, he's because people say, well, you tanked. And then we always point out, well, Gunnar wasn't a 1st round draft pick. And we point out that we could have taken Drew Jones. I mean, number 1 picks don't work out all the time. And we crushed our 2 number 1 picks in Adley Rutschman and Jackson Holiday. So it's not just about tanking, it's also about like crushing when you get those opportunities. So yeah, it's another reason to be kind of grateful that Jackson Holiday and they played it. They played it before the game. Jackson Holiday talking about how he hopes to make it to the majors in 2 years, which is a stupid thing to say for an 18-year-old kid. You hope to make it in 2 years. Like the arrogance. No one does this. Go through the minors in 2 years as a high schooler.
Yeah.
But he said it in a way that didn't feel like arrogant, but he said it. That's his goal. And he did it. That's just kind of amazing. Let's just take a minute to appreciate Jackson Holiday's greatness.
His brother,
Ethan
is supposed to be in the draft next year.
Yes,
I believe. Is he supposed to be even better? Because
some people say
he's like the number 1 projected for next year.
Yeah, it's always hard, obviously, to tell this early, right? I remember when Adley was drafted.
Yeah.
Before the season, everyone said, "Oh, Bobby Witt's going to be the number 1 pick," and then Adley had a great year and turned out to be Adley. And Adley and Bobby Witt are both great. It was fun to see them play against each other.
But you think about the younger brother syndrome, where he has to play against Jackson his entire life, so he's always playing up to someone bigger and taller, bigger than him, older than him, stronger than him. gives him a good leg up for getting ready to jump into the majors just as fast.
Well, yeah. I mean, I joked in this podcast maybe last week about wanting to kind of leave my baby son on the doorstep of the Holiday household just so he's raised
Yeah.
by the holidays.
Right.
Because I mean, you got Madden there. You got their own. First of all, you have your own like hitting facility, your own D-bats facility in there with the best coaches that exist in the former Major League All-Stars.
Yeah.
And Matt Holliday, and they invite all kind of other baseball players there. And you just hear stories about their exit velocity. They eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff.
Yep.
They, yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, Ethan's going to be great. And I don't know if the Orioles should try to lose all their games.
I know,
to
because there's no way
draft
we can
Ethan.
there's no way we can get Ethan unless
Yeah.
he pulls like a whole like, oh well, the Athletics signed me, so I'm just going to go to college instead. And then I still don't see how you ever get him to the Orioles.
Yeah, there's no scenario. Maybe we can work out a package deal
Not
for
until free agency.
yeah, in 10 years. Maybe
Yeah.
we can. Is there some deal we can work out? Can we
Right.
make this thing happen?
Right. What do we have to trade?
Yeah, we can do a prospect for prospect trade.
Yep.
We've got some prospects. Can we do a prospect for prospect trade?
Did you see, speaking of homegrown facilities, did you see what former Oriole is getting in a little trouble with some neighbors because he is building a facility in his backyard?
You know, I saw the headline of the article. I didn't
Yeah.
even care enough to click it.
Apparently it's
It's
about
JJ
the-
Hardy, right?
It's JJ Hardy, and apparently
Yeah.
it's about stadium lights or something in his backyard because he's building a ball field.
Okay. Which can I say? And everyone, I just read the headline in the comments, and of course, everyone was killing this Karen or whatever they called her.
Yeah.
And can I just say, people playing baseball at night behind me with lights on, like my neighbor has one of those just like floodlights, but
And-
it points right into my window, in my bedroom window, and it's freaking annoying. And so I can imagine like playing baseball at night with the lights on. I probably wouldn't be happy as a neighbor either. I mean, I actually would love it, but if I didn't like baseball, I would probably be annoyed. My wife would certainly be annoyed if our neighbors put up a baseball stadium with stadium lights
And I'll
in there.
tell you, this is all on JJ Hardy because you have the money. That's not where you do this. You go out and you buy property in the middle of nowhere. You buy a big strip of land, and that's where you do it. I'm working on a home now for a baseball player, a Cy Young winner.
Humble brag.
Yeah, for a Cy Young winner, and he.
Oh, look
has-
at that. Are you gonna tell me what it rhymes with? What his name rhymes with?
Yeah, it rhymes with what's it rhyme with? It rhymes with Jacob deGrom.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
and he's
Yeah.
got like 500 acres of land, so he can build 2 baseball fields if he wants, and doesn't have to worry about his neighbors. That's
Yes.
how you're supposed to do it when you have
Yeah.
this money.
Yeah, you get a few acres. Yeah,
You get
that
a few
seems to make
acres, you
sense.
get
Yeah.
some land, you do what you want. You don't try to build a baseball field in an HOA.
Yeah, that's fair. Was that an HOA situation?
I don't know.
Because
But
I
it's-
can't even.
or
I
it's too
can't.
close
You
to his
can't
neighbors.
change your shutters in HOA, let alone put a baseball
I
field.
get letters every week from the HOA because I don't take my trash cans and hide them behind a bush.
Really?
I just bought something on Amazon to put this fake fence up so my trash cans can hide behind it because they're so afraid of what the trash cans look like in my neighborhood.
Oh my! You got
I
like
keep
I don't have
my-
an HOA now in Macon. In Georgia, this is a free state, but
Oh, yeah, no. I got an HOA, and I ain't happy about the HOA.
yeah, I've heard
I-
horror stories about HOAs. I mean, I have an
I want-
HOA when we lived in Maryland, but they've been so chill. It hasn't been an issue at all.
Oh, yeah, I had no problems with my HOAs in Maryland. I want a basketball hoop. Owen plays basketball.
Yeah, I wanna
a
get
portable
basketball hoop, too.
I am not supposed to have it outside. I'm supposed to play basketball and then put it inside my garage when I'm
Like
not
wheel it
playing.
in and wheel it out.
Wheel it in, wheel it out.
Yeah.
Yes. And I can't do that because in my garage, I'm hiding my trailer that I'm not allowed to have in my driveway because of the HOA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's an
I-
HOA issue.
No, it's I feel for JJ Hardy, but it's his fault for buying in that area.
Yeah.
He's got the money to pick up and move.
No, I don't disagree with you, Josh. I wanted to also talk about kind of first impressions of the season.
Okay.
And one of the other things that's kind of stuck out to me is, and we thought we were guilty of doing this too. and I feel like an idiot for doing this now.
Downplayed the schedule.
Downplayed the schedule. Talked about,
Wait.
oh, what an easy schedule we have. We should. It would be disappointing if we lost any games, right? And then you look up and the Angels are over 500.
Yes.
Boston's playing really well. The Pittsburgh like never loses. It's just like the teams, and it was our fault for saying, oh, well, you just assume on paper everything, but this is not on paper, right? In reality,
and like those and 2 of those Pittsburgh games. I mean, come on, we lost 1 in extra innings, we lost the other in the bottom of the 9th. Like those were games we didn't lose last year.
Okay, but Josh, that one we lost in extra innings, there was a situation in the 10th or 11th with bases loaded, no outs. We should have lost it right there. We had no business even playing more innings.
Right, Bauman completely screwed that. But who came in behind him and shut that down? Real impressive.
Coulomb.
Yeah, Coulomb came down and real impressive to get bases loaded, no outs. And then we do the same crap the next night. But that's what we've talked about. Our bullpen's the weakness.
Yeah, and like that's not surprising to me at all that our bullpen would struggle a little bit. Like that's par for the course.
We haven't seen Kimbrel get us a save yet.
No, he got one save, didn't he?
I thought he blew it. I thought he blew a save.
He blew a save, but got the win. But I thought his next appearance he got a save. But maybe I'm remembering wrong.
I got to look it up.
But yeah, but just the records real quick. Boston's 7-4 right now. Kansas City 7-4, right? That's a winning percentage of 636 for both those teams. Angels lost today, so they're 6-6, 500, but they were over 500 before today. Pittsburgh 9-3, right? So this easy schedule turned out to be not so easy, and so I think that was a bit of mistaken #misinformation there about the easy schedule. Again, you don't know how things are going to play out.
Yeah, you don't know until it plays out. Let's see.
Are you researching if Kimbrel got a save? Maybe I'm wrong. I could have swore he got a save.
I'm trying to see. Oh, here. If I go here.
Do you not know how to look up save stats for players?
Yeah, and it says he has 2, which doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, maybe he has 2. I thought he had at least 1.
It says 2.
All right. So I'm thinking of
and then this says 1. So clearly I don't know what I'm looking at.
Okay. I don't know why.
All right. So yes, he's got 1.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. He's got the 1 save, and I think he's got the 1 blown save, right?
Yes.
All right.
All right. But anyway, we haven't seen enough from Kimbrel yet to really know what we got from him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got some insight into how, like, Elias is. I mean, I'm sorry, how manager Hyde is going to use his bullpen, and Kimbrel, as we thought, is going to be the closer for now. And then we've seen Bauman being used a lot, Keegan Aiken being used. Keegan Aiken's in the game today. Yet it seems like Yennier Cano, as expected, is kind of the 8th inning guy.
Yep.
So I think in terms of, and it's not, again, when you lose Felix Bautista and you replace him with a lesser Kimbrel, it's going to be, even if Kimbrel pitches well, it's not going to be as lights out, right? It's going to be a little more edge in your seats. It's going to be a little bit more in the 8th and 9th inning. Buckle up, people. This is going to get interesting than it was last year. And that doesn't surprise me at all. That's to be expected.
Right. I think when we look at the pitching, the rotation, I mean, Corbin Burns is as advertised.
Yeah, he's I mean, he's every time he starts, freaking pinch myself
Exactly.
that this is real, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, totally.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah. And he's got a 1.93 ERA right now. Rodriguez in the number 2 hole has a 2.19 ERA.
And I tell you, people, this is Grayson's year. I think we have 2 aces. And I think Grayson, like, this is your to step up as an ace. And he so far has played great. He's pitched great. Corbin Burns has pitched great. That's been good to see.
Kramer, been right up there too. He's been pitching really well.
He's been good so far.
He's also got a 219. Wells has been okay, and Irvin's been the struggle has been Irvin, who hasn't given up. I guess he gave up the most runs today, and then 5 runs, which is the most runs a starter has given up this season so far. But it seems like he's always on the verge of giving up even more.
Yeah, today was. I mean, I thought he was terrible last start. Today's start was weird. Like there was a couple umpire calls that didn't go his way.
Yeah.
There was that one where he got 2 strikes on the guy when he gave it the first, or I think the second and third run, and the guy just like flicked it into right field where no one was feeling. So it felt like Irvin pitched a lot better than what the numbers say. But certainly like Corbin Burns and Grayson have been great. Dean Kramer has been good. Tyler Wells has been okay.
Yeah.
And
Irvin's getting by.
Irvin's been a little bit of the weak link.
But he's also our fifth starter.
Right. And John Means is in Norfolk. He's had 2 starts in Norfolk.
Yeah. Was his second one any better?
His second was a lot better. Well,
Good.
You can't get worse
Good.
than his first one. His second one, he looked fine. His second one. And so I assume he's going to get rehabs till the end of April. That's what we were told at the beginning. And so he's going to get a few more starts there.
Yes.
And then I think at the end of April, which is not in terms of, it seems like a long time because it's 20 days,
No.
but in terms of starts, right? That's what, 3 or 4 more starts
Yeah. 2, 3, 4.
for these guys. And then they'll make a decision.
Yeah.
Which will probably come down to Wells or Irvin.
One goes to the pen.
Yep, exactly.
And then have you seen an update on Bradish? I haven't heard a single thing since the season started about Bradish, which has me concerned.
I haven't heard anything recently, but I haven't heard any bad. The last thing I felt like I heard was good news that he was progressing.
Never mind. 3 hours ago, the Orioles announced that Kyle Bradish has joined the High A Aberdeens and will begin his rehab assignment.
It doesn't say High A Aberdeens.
Yes, it
High
does.
A Aberdeen Ironbirds? Does it say High A Aberdeen?
Well, has joined the squad at High A Aberdeen is what it says here.
Yeah, that's fine. That's surprising to me because, and where my mental state is, and my mental state's going to stay here until proven otherwise, that Kyle Bradish is done for the year. That's mentally where I'm going with it because I feel like this is. I know it's not the same injury as Felix Bautista that shut him down, but arm injuries.
I mean, we could
elbow soreness.
We could have Means and Bradish both back here in 3-4 weeks.
I can't wrap my head around Bradish being back, but
I know.
I can wrap my head around Means being back.
I'm just saying we could have them both back, Wells and Irvin into the bullpen.
Yeah.
And that settles some things down.
Right. And that assumes that Bradish and Means pitch like their histories.
Oh. If they
and if they do, we're in great shape.
Yeah. If they pitch,
that's an if. That's a big if though. But yeah,
if they pitch, if Bradish pitches the way he did last year and Means the way he did before his injury, then yes, we're looking at one of the best rotations in baseball.
We can stack a rotation against anybody. Yep. Yeah, I think so. Now those are some ifs, but also like every time any pitcher starts now, I stress out because I mean, if you're paying attention to baseball this year, there's like arm injuries left and right with pitchers. So that's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Right.
But assuming health, everyone stays healthy.
Yeah. Because do you agree that it's the pitch clock?
No, I think it has nothing to do with that.
The pitch clock, I think the pitch clock is crap. Yeah. I believe it's because of working out all year. I think it's year-round workout.
Yeah,
and I think it's people trying to work out harder and throw harder than ever before.
Yes, because everything in this game of baseball is incentivizing spin rate and velocity.
Bigger, faster, stronger.
And no one takes an off season anymore. I mean, we talked about it. If you take an off, I mean, everyone comes into spring training throwing harder than they ever had in their life.
Right.
What is that? It's not because they took the off season off and they're fresh. It's because they spent the whole off season working how to throw as hard as they can in their life.
Yes.
And so there's no off season for pitchers. They just throw hard all the time, and they go to these freaking DBAT programs or whatever. What's the not pitching ninja? What's the famous one? Driveline.
Yeah,
where
Urban
they just
went to pitching ninja.
Okay, where they just learn how to throw even harder and spin the ball even more, and then we think the pitch clock's the injury. Oh, get out of here! It's because there's no off season because they throw the ball harder and harder and harder.
They take a month
12
off.
year.
They take a month off, and then they're back to work.
And they have to because the guy next to him is back to work.
Yeah, I
so
told you
what are you going to do?
Right. I told you before that Wells and Bauman bought houses down here. Why? Because their little pitch camp thing that they go to every single day is down here. So during the off season, they bought a house a mile from their place, which makes sense because all you're doing is going to this every day.
Yeah.
Which is why we have the best pitchers ever and the best baseball players, because they're working out so hard, but it's going to lead to injuries as it has.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because, and I would love to think it's a pitch clock. That would be so great. And then we just change the pitch clock and there's no more injuries.
No,
but
I love
the real problem is doesn't have a solution, right?
Right.
Like, what's the solution to players working hard and wanting to get better? There's really not a solution there.
It's the reason that even at 10U baseball, I'm supposed to like count the number of pitches for the kids and how many manage innings and back-to-back days and all that, because it's not,
which is not bad, but it's also not
the
going to solve the
pitch clock.
problem. Yeah.
It is, but it's stress. It's that these kids who are now the pitchers who are going to these pitching things all off season, they're also the kids that came and played year-round baseball up to that point.
Yes. And I mean, we don't hear about it as much, but Josh, the minors, pitchers drop left and right. And one of the reasons I'm convinced is because your body isn't even fully developed. You're putting all that stress on your body that's still developing. It's one thing like to wait and you get to 24 or whatever and your body's fully developed, but you're already stressing out these ligaments that are still trying to grow. And you have a bunch of high schoolers and 19 and 20-year-olds whose arms break down because they've been throwing as hard as possibly can from the time that they're 10.
Right.
All year round. So, yeah.
No, they're machines. Machines break. And where?
Yeah. And I wonder if baseball will try to do something about it.
I don't know. I don't know what you can do about it. I don't know how you...
Yeah, it feels like it needs to be like not a rule shift, like a cultural shift. That's a little bit harder to regulate.
And how do we all love the stronger, faster. Like a guy that throws a hard fastball is attractive. We all love it. But how you handle that, I don't know. Getting rid of steroids was a good step. But how do you change working out? Because these guys it's not like these pitchers are doing organized clubhouse, team organized workouts. They're doing things on their own to come back in good shape. So you can't really control what they do on their own.
Josh, I'm blanking on the name. It reminds me of, what's the book we read and we talked to the author? Fireballer, where it was discussed to ban throwing that hard. It's almost like, and maybe that was kind of a little bit kind of seeing into the future there with where we're headed, because that's the only way you can do it. So like not let people throw as hard as they can.
Right. And that's where it's going to get interesting, because one thing we know is technology and all this working out, all it does is get better. We're not going to go through a phase where, everyone's working out and now they're not throwing harder. It's, now we found this other, now we found if you work out at this place, we can add an extra 2 miles to your fastball.
Right.
And that's what they're going to keep doing.
Right.
There's no way to slow it down.
Buster Olney suggests, you know what his idea is? His idea
move
is
the mound back.
To help address
lower
this.
The mound. Lower the mound.
No, I haven't heard that. His idea to help address this was to limit relievers to 4 pitchers per game. This will force like starter pitchers not to go all out, but to pace themselves so they can throw more innings, because you can only use 4 pitchers in a game.
But then you're limiting the number of players on your team, and the MLBPA, it will never go for
Well,
that.
No. You just kind of select which 4 players.
Right.
I think each game you pick the 4 relievers.
Right. But if I'm only using 4 relievers in each game, I'm not going to keep 13 pitchers on my staff.
Well, I think you can still keep the number of 26. Maybe
you could,
12.
but I wouldn't. Why would you?
Well, because you have to have 26 people on your roster.
Right. But why wouldn't I keep extra outfielders or infielders?
Okay, you're still keeping the same number
or
of
why
players.
Wouldn't I say, you know what? Since we need less pitchers, let's go with a 22-man.
Right, but
rosters.
MLBPA would never allow us. All right, but Josh, that's just one suggestion. You can take it up with Buster. That's just his suggestion.
No, I don't. I've also heard the suggestion of lowering the mound. And that's more of a that's more of a looking at the competitiveness. If the pitchers get too good for the batters and are throwing the ball too hard, you lower the mound, which helps balance the playing field a little bit better.
All right. So to get back to the Orioles, Josh, as I'm seeing Craig Kimbrell about to get his second save here.
Yes.
Did I jinx it by saying that? I hope I didn't jinx it.
I hope not.
Okay. The Orioles are going to stand at 7-4 once we get this win, Josh.
Yeah.
This will be tied with the Red Sox. Yankees are 10-2, which is insane.
Yep.
Tampa Bay 7-6, Toronto 6-7. The AL East is good. This is not a surprise. How are we feeling though 2 weeks in the season and how this team's playing? Is this as expected? Are we a little disappointed? Did we think we would kind of dominate the first month?
Slightly disappointed in this lineup because our pitching has put us in a position to win every single game. And this lineup scored so many runs the first 2 games that I expected them to be able to score 5-6 runs a night. And we've had multiple games of 1 run where we just can't do it. So slightly disappointed in that lineup. And I blame Elias with drudging out Kemp and Urias out there.
Yeah.
So I am a little disappointed in that, but excited because I think we can turn all that around now. I love today's lineup. We've said it 100 times.
Yeah.
I see that every day, and I feel comfortable.
Yeah, and we scored 7 runs tonight.
Yeah, and we didn't score any until what, the 6th inning, 7th inning?
Until we got out that obnoxious starting pitcher. That guy was good.
But
that guy named Cutter, who was literally named after a Cutter fastball. Come on now. Right. We can't hit against that.
But it shows what we've talked about this team before. They don't give up. They don't back down. They're not scared of anything. You gave up on the Birds.
I did. I gave up. I said the game was over. Let's do the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
And for now on, when they fall behind by 5, we got to hop on and do the podcast because apparently we're good luck.
Yeah. Josh, and Westbrook hits home runs when we do the podcast.
Yes.
Josh, I was just looking at the runs scored, runs against.
Yes.
And we're at runs against, like the runs scored against us. We've given up 33 runs this year. Only 2 teams in the American League have given up less runs than us.
No, that's what I'm saying. Our pitchers, the rotation, the pitchers have kept us in every single game, which is why I'm disappointed in this lineup.
Yeah, but that was Josh, and you say, well, it was because of Kemp and Reyes and Hyde.
I mean, everybody struggled, but
no, the real reason is the waterworks, the sprinkler and the Homer hose. That's back now, and so good times here again. The runs scored will not be a problem.
Yeah, sure. That could be part of it because it definitely heated up when they brought the Homer hose back.
Yeah, and that's not a coincidence. And there's Kimbrell's second save.
Nice to see that.
Yeah. And the Orioles, I mean, the run differential, Josh, look at the run differential. People care about this stuff. We're now at plus 23.
Yes.
Which puts us in second in the American League.
Yes.
And I think third in all of baseball. So not too shabby in terms of.
If you look this week, like I said, we gave up 5 today. That's the most runs we've given up all season.
Yeah.
Yesterday was 1. Sunday we lost. We gave up 3. Should have won that game.
Yeah.
Saturday we lost. We gave up 5. Had a chance to win that game. Friday we gave up 2. Last Wednesday we gave up 3. Before that 4. Before that 4. In the opening series we gave up 3, 4, and 4. Like that's great pitching, and that's a chance to win every game.
Yeah, and so we've had some hiccups with the bullpen, a couple hiccups with the offense. I'm not concerned with Gunnar Henderson. I'm not concerned with Arias' batting average because Arias is now a bench player. So I think some of those stuff is going to sort itself out. And so, yeah, I 2 weeks of the season, would I like our record to be a little bit better? Am I annoyed about how good of a start the Yankees are at? Yeah, those things are true. But I'm feeling good. I think we're in a good place. I think the teams we played are a little bit better than we thought they would be. Yep. I think our offense I agree with you, has not performed to what I feel like they're capable of. I'm thrilled with Burns and Rodriguez and even Kramer. And I think Wells and Irvin are fine. I'm okay that them continue to start.
Me too.
So yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, we stayed healthy so far. There's been no additional big injuries thus far. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this team 2 weeks in. And I like Hyde's lineup. I like the lineup today. I hope he rolls the lineup all the time. It's going to be interesting to continue to watch the outfield, particularly the Hayes and the Cowser, and how he's able. Because at this point, you got to get Cowser in the lineup every day. I'm curious to see how Hyde's able to do that, and still get these guys some other playing times. I wonder if we'll do I don't know. Can Cowser play center? Will we see Hayes at center?
Think so, yeah.
I think that could be a possibility too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So tomorrow we get to see Rodriguez again. I think the whole reason, I'm assuming the whole reason Burns pitched yesterday instead of Irvin yesterday is so that we get to put Burns out on Sunday against the Brewers.
Oh, really?
And face his old team. That's
Yeah. What they said is just to keep him on the 5-day
Right.
schedule, but maybe
But
there was something there.
I think
But
it's a little bit of Burns saying, I want to face the Brewers.
so when is he scheduled to pitch against next? It's against the Brewers. Is that
Well, let's see.
that be Sunday?
I think when I did the
Monday?
math before, I thought it was Sunday. So he pitched on
Today,
Tuesday,
so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
right? Doesn't that put him onto Sunday?
On Sunday, yeah. I put him
Yeah.
Sunday.
Which is the last game against Milwaukee. So
Yeah.
that's why I figure he's going to be pitching on Sunday, would be my guess.
Yeah.
We got Rodriguez tomorrow.
Are we gonna get a DL Hall versus Burns situation? That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Well, we're going to get Rodriguez tomorrow. Then we'll get Irvin. I mean, not Irvin. We'll get Rodriguez,
Kramer, Wells.
Wells, and then I think you go back to the top
Yeah, then Burns.
with Burns and give Irvin some extra time off.
Yeah.
So
I mean, would you rather Burns pitch another game or Irvin? I don't want Burns. Give me Burns every 5th day. Give me that.
yeah. Now the problem is the Brewers have been playing well also.
Yeah, I mean that's like par for the course. Like everyone who we play has been playing well. Yeah, the
Yes.
Brewers are 7-3 right now. So when do we play the Marlins? That's good.
That's in July.
Yeah. I'm planning on going to the Marlins, by the way. I talked to Emily.
Me too.
We're gonna stay with her friend Elise. Like we're planning it out now.
And I
And tickets, by the way, are super cheap at Miami. Love it.
we got to look at the all you can eat. It's like $30 and it's all you can eat club level or something.
Yeah,
Something
but Josh,
ridiculous.
on Thursdays you have a deal where you get a hot dog, a drink, and something else, popcorn. I think $11.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like
All right,
3
so maybe
people
we
for
can do that.
$33.
All right, I haven't
That's
looked
mine.
at tickets yet.
Okay,
I
I've been
did-
looking in detail.
I
They
believe
got Taco Tuesday too.
I believe I booked my campground
Okay,
for the time there.
okay.
So,
I'll be staying in a house.
all right. Well, I am bringing the whole family, and we'll be in a camper in the
All right.
trailer.
All right.
So that's what we do.
July in Miami gonna be hot.
Hey, I won a big Little League game yesterday.
Oh, congrats!
Got
I don't
my-
want to talk.
got my
I'm so
second win.
annoyed and depressed about Little League. I don't want to talk about it. But
Got
sure,
my-
congrats on your win.
Got my second win. Had one kid get 7 RBIs. It was pretty cool.
All right, cool. You're my inspiration. That there's light at the end of this tunnel.
Yeah. It's funner when they're older.
Yeah.
So
All right, let's wrap this thing up. People, thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, share it on social media. We're all over those places on Facebook and
Yep.
TikTok and wherever. We're there.
we're on
Also,
it
go
all.
to Apple Podcasts and write a review. It helps to spread the word as well.
Yeah. Thanks for last week. We got a little confused, but we got those foreigners and got
Yeah,
their
bring on
reviews
the
in, which is
international
pretty cool.
reviews.
So
We
bring on
appreciate
the
those as
international
well.
Ones.
Yeah. Even though they don't show up. I don't know why they don't show up in normal Apple Podcast reviews.
I don't know.
But bring those on. All right. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Section336.
Yep.
You can follow Josh on Twitter.
Or on X at Josh Soroka
Oh, yeah.
and
X.
at Birdland Sports.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.